Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We are going to be reading on my Edgar Cayce on Atlantis. And we're still on chapter 1, The Legend of Atlantis. It says, there are many statements which we shall examine in detail that many changes have occurred in land areas. Some sunk, risen, and sunk again. And the earliest dates mention millions of years ago to the present. There are some indications of disturbances about 50,000 years BC. Another upheaval seems to have taken place at about 28,000 BC, at which the continent was split into an island, while the final destruction of the remaining islands took place around about 10,000 BC. It is the last destructive, I think, that Plato describes in his writings. So they're talking about Atlantis. Each period of destruction lasted months or years rather than days. It's each case there was a sufficient warning so that many of the inhabitants escaped to Europe, Africa, and America. Thus, according to Edgar Cayce's readings, both of the Americans and portions of Europe have felt the influx of the Atlanteans more than once on the unrecorded past. And Thoth or Toth was somebody who really tried to help the Atlanteans before the fall, to help them to start to abide by the universal laws. And you can look, I made videos on the universal laws. If you scroll underneath my bio, I read all the universal laws in detail, one by one. But he really tried to instill that. But Atlantean was very technological, and people were either for the light or they were for the dark, and the darkness overwhelmed and kind of took over and collapsed that. Which is why I believe that we're doing a lot of the healing work starting here in America, because I believe a lot of the Atlanteans decided to reside in here in this lifetime to help with this ascension, to overturn it. Why does Edgar Cayce say that the Atlantean incarnation exerts so much influence on individuals, particularly in our time? He answers this question in a general reading giving to prove material for lectures on Atlantis. It says, be true that there is the fact of reincarnation, and that souls that once occupied such an environment, i.e. Atlantis, they are entering the Earth's sphere and inhibiting individuals in the present. It is at any wonder if they make such alterations in the affairs of the earth in their day as to bring destruction upon themselves. If they are entering now, they might make the changes in the affairs of the people and individuals in the present. Says, when we look at individuals who have once been citizens of a country striking similar to the 20th century America, we often may recognize personal as well as natural faults. This is the first step towards salvation, as illustrated in the parable of the prodigal son, Luke 15:11 through 32, note verse 17. Faults once recognized may be corrected, and America may yet be spared the fate that overtook Atlantis. At least some individuals may be able to change, as Robert Dunbar did, and lead a creative rather than a destructive life. What kind of nonsense is this? Is there any basis for such idea other than the imagination of Edgar Cayce? Let us turn to the source of the information and then see how it upholds in the light of recent discoveries. It does, we will be able to look at the future through the mind of a psychic and try to glimpse our dubious destiny. So I'm going to leave it at that. But, first of all, he's not just a psychic. he worked for Harvard Medical. So, you know, he was somebody who was very much thought of as a very profound person with very high intellect. Yes, he was a psychic. He accessed the Akashic records for people and was able to help to heal people through that. But I truly believe that he was accessing the Akashic records for Atlantis. And he was meant to do so a very long time ago when he was on this planet. And I believe it's so that it would come about for now when we are actually ascending. We have this type of information to access to know what we need to heal and fix. And again, 555 on the timer as I said that. Sorry, I was having throat issues, so maybe that might have something about it, or they don't want me to get this out. But I believe that you have to really kind of pay back that karma and release everything no longer serving your best and your highest good, so that we can elevate our frequency as a planet and ascend to a higher vibrational frequency, which is the 5th dimension. So by learning about our past and learning about what things not to do, it allows us how to move forward in our lives and with our, you know, country and the world. So we'll get into it further. I hope this helps. I love you all. Have a blessed day, and namaste.